I hate how hard it is to find a deal to buy in real estate right now. Back in the good old days, there was plenty of deals to be found right on the market, on the MLS. But with an all-time housing shortage right now, the chances of finding a good deal on the market are slim to none. So today I'm going to share with you guys my top 5 ways to find a real estate deal in 2024 as an investor. Let's get to it. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you didn't already know, my name is Jay Costa. I'm a real estate builder, investor, and agent here in Northern New Jersey. And if you get value out of this video, please smash that like button down below and also consider subscribing. We are slowly building a tight-knit community here of like-minded individuals looking to build wealth in real estate. We usually cover, one of our biggest topics is using a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, in order to build wealth in real estate. But today I'm not going to cover HELOCs per se, although you can use a HELOC with all of these strategies, of course, but I'm going to go over my top 5 best ways to find a real estate deal heading into 2024. By the way, since we are now in 2024, I wanted to wish you guys a happy new year, and I wish all of your holiday seasons and Christmas season was great for you and your family, and I appreciate you tuning in as always. These are all tried and true strategies. They've been around for a long time, and frankly, I have used many of them as well to different degrees of success. I will get more in depth on each one as we move down the list. I know through firsthand experience that these strategies work. So starting with number 5, and that is mailers, a mailing campaign. Mailing campaigns have been in use almost as long as the post office has been around, which is pretty much since the founding of this country. Now, I know what you're thinking, who checks their mail still in 2024, but it can still be an effective strategy to find real estate deals for a couple different reasons. As I said, mailer campaigns, mail in general, may tend to feel a bit outdated to many of you, but take a step back and think about who still checks their mail and who keeps their mail. A lot of the time, the people that do actually check their mail are older couples, older homeowners who have been in that house for a long period of time, who may be looking to move, looking to sell soon, maybe cash out and downsize, cash out, move to another state, retire, what have you. Just the target demographic that you're going after with mailing campaigns tends to be a positive one as a real estate investor or a wholesaler. That, in addition to the fact that mailing campaigns takes up very little time, and it also is relatively inexpensive. So as you can see, there are still benefits to using a mailing campaign to find deals in 2024, but there are a couple of cons about mailing campaigns I want to go over. The first is that you do have to be consistent. I made this mistake previously as an agent as well as an investor. You would just farm an area, a certain neighborhood that you wanted to find a deal in, and just shoot everyone with one mailer and expect all these people to flood back to you that want to sell their house. That's not how it works. You have to be consistent. It's going to take more than one campaign, more than one round of mailers, of postcards to send out before you see any traction. And the reason for that is because you have to stay on top of mind of these homeowners and these home sellers, because chances are when they get that mailer in the mail from you, they're not going to be looking to sell. They're going to throw it in the garbage. But if they get one once a month or once every quarter for 3 years straight, I promise you, when they think that they want to sell, if they want to sell it off market and not use an agent perhaps, you are going to be at the top of mind of that home seller. Next, at number 4 is word of mouth. Word of mouth is exactly what it sounds like. And it's almost always the best way to buy or sell something, right? No matter what it is. And this is simply because you're going to have some sort of connection or relationship or familiarity at the very least with the seller. So you're already starting a couple steps ahead of your competition, if there is any. That's the other thing too. A lot of the times when you find something word of mouth, there is no other competition. There's no one else interested. There's no real estate agent involved yet, nothing. So that could give you a great opportunity to find an off-market property that fits your criteria. Put it out there that you're looking as an investor to buy your first property. You never know whose mom or aunt or great aunt or sister is looking to sell to someone who they already know and can trust. Now, the only con to word of mouth, generally speaking, is it's extremely difficult to scale unless you've been doing this for a long period of time, right? So if you're just starting out in real estate investing, word of mouth is a great way to get started. But if you're relying strictly on word of mouth to find a deal, you'll be waiting a while. The number 3 best way to find a real estate deal in 2024 is on market. Yes, I said on market. Let me explain. I know in the opening of the video, I kind of said it's very slim chances to almost impossible to find a good deal on the market. But I have a very simple strategy that has worked for me in the past, especially in the last year or so with higher interest rates that we're currently experiencing, and that is only going after the properties that are on market that are overpriced and have been on the market for a long time. Let's say at least 60 to 90 days on the market is kind of what you're looking for. And the reason for that is because simply the market has spoken to that seller and told them that their property is not worth what they're asking for it. So go to these properties and make offers on them at lower amounts. You'd be surprised how many sellers are motivated, but they just don't want to drop the price and look desperate. But if they get an offer in hand that is lower, they will be willing to accept it many times. Don't be afraid to offend them. This is where the gold is, frankly, on the MLS currently. In fact, this is how I actually got under contract and purchased my most recent investment property, and that is a new construction duplex that we're currently building right now. If you want to learn more about that, how that went down and my experience with that, I will put a link for that video in the description box down below, as well as up in the corner here. So this property I actually planned on purchasing myself as a existing two-family to renovate it and then to rent it. But as interest rates started to really kind of skyrocket at the time, the market was changing very quickly and both buyers and sellers were getting pretty nervous. So at first their asking price was $925,000, then $899,000, then $849,000, and eventually I got the property under contract for $700,000. This was using that same strategy, using fear in the market to my advantage, because they knew that the rates were changing and the market was changing, as did I, and looking back, that ended up being a great deal to invest in. Next at number 2 is cold calling. I know a lot of people out there are like so afraid of cold calling, and I promise you, I was with you when I just got it starting out in real estate as an agent. I would get sick to my stomach knowing that I had to make calls that day, but eventually over time, as I practiced, as I got more experience, as I started studying some scripts and things like that, I got more and more comfortable, and it's probably my number one lead source as both a real estate agent as well as a real estate investor. Now, when I first got started as a real estate agent, I would call expired listings, for sale by owners, you name it. But now, as more of a real estate investor, I don't really call expireds and FSBOs anymore, but I tend to just grab a list, like from a tax list, of properties that kind of fit my criteria, whether it's a lot size or square footage or a certain area. I take that list, I put it right into my dialer, which is Mojo Dialer is what I use, and they also have a skip tracer as part of Mojo Dialer. I run all of those addresses through a skip tracer, and if you don't know, a skip tracer is basically a service that goes through a list of addresses and connects and finds the phone numbers and sometimes even the email addresses, as well as the owner's names and information for each property. Now, my key motivation, by the way, when I make these cold calls is not to try to get them to sell their house on the phone with me. In my experience, that never worked. But I'd rather just start by both gauging their interest as well as building a rapport and a relationship with them that they could somehow know me and trust me. That way, if and when the time comes where they're looking to sell, I will be the first one that they reach out to. This has really been the backbone of my business, both as a real estate agent as well as an investor and a builder in this market. And lastly, my number one best top way to find a real estate deal in 2024 is what's called driving for dollars. Now, driving for dollars is a term that you hear all the time on places like Bigger Pockets, as well as through services like Deal Machine, as well as PropStream. And it's basically kind of what it sounds like. It's when you get in your car and you drive around a certain area that you're looking to purchase in, and just look for properties you think that need work. If they look distressed, if they look like no one's living in them, if they're vacant, copy down the address on a notepad or whatever you have, get back to your desk, run it through that skip tracer that you have, and you could either start calling them, you could start using them in a mailing campaign, or you could very simply go right to the door and knock on it. The essential part of this strategy is that you're building a list of distressed properties and distressed property owners that nobody else has. You see, there's so many other lists that you could already find out there on the internet that you could buy, right? Whether it's a pre-foreclosure list, a tax lien list, whatever. But the problem with those lists is that you're not the only one with those lists. There's so many other companies and investors and wholesalers or whatever, calling, texting, emailing, really essentially probably spamming the homeowner that you're trying to get in contact with. So they tend to be a bit oversaturated. The best part of driving for dollars is you are building your own list of distressed properties and that nobody else has. And there is a ton of value to that. And like I said, what you do with that list is really up to you. You could call them by cold call, you could set up a mailing campaign, or you could very simply go right to the door or do all three. The flexibility and value that driving for dollars provides is simply unmatched, and that is why I think it is the best way, whether you're just getting started or you're a seasoned real estate investor or wholesaler, or even a real estate agent looking for leads and deals in different ways than what everyone else is doing. Go drive for dollars, get in your car today, and go look at properties and find properties that look like that person may be selling soon. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this. Have you used any of these strategies and to what success? And do you have any other strategies that you would have included in this video? Drop a comment. And as always, you can go right on my website if you have any questions for me about HELOCs, about real estate investing, anything like that. Would love to hear from you. Love getting back to you. And I appreciate you guys as always. And until next time, I will see you later.